I welcome you to another moment with me. Get the message moment. Today we shall be discussing on a very crucial and important topic. You see, as students start a new school here, they have to cope with academic, athletic, and social demands. They also have to deal with the impact of peer pressure on their choices and behavior. Parents may observe some changes in their child's appearance or attitude at home. How much of this is due to their friends' influence, and how can parents help their child handle peer pressure? In this discourse, in this conversation of today, the following shall be highlighted: types, examples, ways to cope, and conclusion through the use of the sacred scripture and the perspective of a psychologist who studied the scientific aspect of peer pressure, both its positive and negative effects. It is therefore on this note we shall be talking about and discussing on the topic titled The Effects of Childhood Peer Pressure. Effects of childhood peer pressure. And our anchor scripture for this discussion are from the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20, which says, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but with a companion of fools will suffer harm." Exodus chapter 23, verse 2, which also says, "Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong." When we talk about peer pressure, the question that comes to our mind is, what is peer pressure? Peer pressure is the influence that members of the same social group have on each other to do things that they may be resistant to or might not otherwise choose to do. Peers are people who are part of the same social group. It is a common phenomenon that can occur in any age group, but it is most prevalent among teenagers and young adults. Types of peer pressure and their examples. We have four kinds of peer pressure, which are the positive peer pressure, negative peer pressure, direct peer pressure, and indirect peer pressure. But we shall be looking at the first, positive peer pressure. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. A peer group can have a positive impact and help develop healthy and appropriate behaviors that are acceptable by society. For example, peers can influence each other to study, work, and save money for their goals, This is when peers provide good examples for each other. Examples of this positive peer pressure is or are forming a study group, joining an extracurricular activities, or trying a new hobby, challenging and not participating in gossip, avoiding drugs and alcohol, working to save money for college, and making a career change. The second type of peer pressure is the negative peer pressure. A negative peer pressure is when a teenager is asked to do something that contradicts his or her moral code or family values. Adolescents have to choose between following the negative leader or staying true to their ethical principles. However, this type of pressure doesn't affect young people who have a strong sense of themselves, beliefs, and morals because they reject anything that goes against their principles. Examples of negative peer pressure are disobeying of parents, bullying of other peers, drug abuse, doing risky things, drinking of alcohol, and substance abuse. Direct peer pressure, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. Direct peer pressure is when one peer group tries to make another do a specific action, behavior, deed, or challenge. For instance, we have uh, the bottle challenge, where you see teenagers, you see young adults doing awful things, all in the name of challenge. This pressure happens in a one-on-one interaction. The one being influenced can compare his or her decision with his or her beliefs or values. Examples: being handed a bear or a or a party even if it wasn't requested, making a sexual advance, and others. The other one is indirect peer pressure. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6. Indirect peer pressure. Indirect pressure is when adolescents see the actions of one or more peers and can decide which one to follow. This type of peer pressure can happen in many areas, such as fashion, social behaviors, media, and friends. So, examples of indirect peer pressure is learning that the popular kids' parties include alcohol or drugs, which may prompt someone to experiment as a way to gain acceptance into the clique or the group. See, these things really happen in colleges.